If you're procrastinating right now, this video is about you. It's 5 p.m. You suddenly remember the thing you've been avoiding. The report, the presentation, the email, the project you promised yourself you'd start days ago. Tomorrow is the deadline. You sit down. You open your laptop. You tell yourself, okay, this time I'm serious. But then, your phone lights up. You check one notification, then another. You think, I should probably eat first. I work better after dinner. While cooking, the thought is still there. That task, quietly waiting in the background. You don't enjoy the food. You don't relax. And when you finally look at the clock, you think, it's too late now. I'll do it tomorrow morning. And just like that, the cycle continues. This is procrastination. And almost everyone watching this has been here. But here's something important we need to clear up first. Procrastination is not laziness. If you were lazy, you wouldn't care. You wouldn't feel guilty. You wouldn't feel stressed. But procrastinators often feel too much. So what's really going on? To understand procrastination, we need to understand how the brain reacts to threat. When you realize you need to start that task, your brain doesn't see it as just work. Your amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for detecting danger, steps in. It releases stress hormones like adrenaline. Your heart rate increases. Your body enters a fight, flight, or freeze response. And in that moment, the rational part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, loses control. This is the part that helps you think long-term, plan ahead, regulate emotions. Stress shuts it down. So your brain makes a decision, not logically, but emotionally. Avoid this. Not because the task is dangerous, but because it feels threatening. Threatening to your confidence. Threatening to your self-image. Threatening to your fear of failure. That's why we're most likely to procrastinate on tasks that make us feel overwhelmed, insecure, incompetent, or afraid of not doing a good enough job. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Studies on university students show something surprising. While students were actually studying, most reported, this isn't so bad. But when they were procrastinating, just thinking about studying felt extremely stressful. In other words, the task becomes scarier in your imagination than it ever is in reality. The longer you avoid it, the bigger and heavier it feels. Now let's talk about a big myth. Many people believe procrastinators lack discipline, that they just need better time management. But research shows procrastination has very little to do with time. People who struggle most with procrastination often struggle with emotional regulation, low self-esteem, perfectionism. In fact, many procrastinators aren't avoiding the task because they don't care. They're avoiding it because they care too much. They want the result to be perfect. They want to meet high standards. And the fear of falling short becomes paralyzing. So they delay. And here's the cruel part. Procrastination works, temporarily. When you avoid the task, your stress drops. Your brain feels relief. And your brain learns something very dangerous. Avoidance reduces pain. So next time you feel stress, your brain reaches for the same solution. That's how procrastination becomes a habit. Over time, though, the cost adds up. Chronic procrastination is linked to anxiety, depression, ongoing shame, higher stress levels, and even physical health problems. And yet, beating yourself up only makes it worse. For years, people believed the solution was more discipline, more pressure, more self-criticism. But today, researchers are realizing something counterintuitive. Being harder on yourself increases procrastination. Why? Because shame adds more negative emotion to the task, which makes the threat feel even bigger, which strengthens the avoidance response. So, how do we break the cycle? We don't start by forcing productivity. We start by reducing fear. Here are a few strategies that actually work. First, make the task smaller. Not finish the report. Just open the document. Just write one sentence. Your brain needs a non-threatening entry point. Second, name the emotion. Ask yourself, what exactly am I afraid of right now? Not finishing? Being judged? Not being good enough? Awareness reduces the power of fear. Third, remove easy distractions. Not because you lack willpower, but because stress makes impulse control weaker. And finally, the most important one. Practice self-compassion. Forgive yourself for procrastinating. Not as an excuse, but as a reset. A brain that feels safe can focus. A brain that feels attacked will always escape. Procrastination isn't a character flaw. It's a stress response. And once you understand that, you stop fighting yourself and start working with your brain instead. What's the one task you've been avoiding? Write it in the comments, and don't overthink it. Thanks for spending these minutes with me. Be patient with yourself and start small.